Hello everyone, welcome to this YouTube channel, a channel for awesome facts and information. In this video, we are going to talk about the top 10 most expensive purchases in the world. So before starting this video, please like this video, and subscribe to this channel for our future updates. Whether you believe it philosophically or not, money and wealth dictate how the world operates, and it's been like that since ancient times. There have always been individuals in society who have possessed far more wealth than the vast majority of the population, and with so much wealth, individuals have always chosen to live extremely luxurious lifestyles. Especially recently, there is a common misconception that all billionaires are greedy individuals who frivolously spend money on extravagant, and often unnecessary things simply because they have more wealth than anyone should have in life. But there are also those who donate large sums of money to charities and other philanthropic organizations to help those living in poverty. That said, whether a billionaire is a jerk or a nice human being does not take away from spending obscene amounts of money on things that regular people would never be able to afford. Here's a list of 10 of the most expensive purchases ever made. Number 10. Sunglasses. The sun is essential for all life on Earth. But despite its immense importance, many of us are annoyed by it because of two things: the heat it produces, and the sunlight itself when it hits our eyes. People can buy sunglasses at reasonably low cost, but sometimes we're attracted to specific brands, and spend a few $100s on a pair of sunglasses, providing more or less the same amount of sunlight relief. Because of our infatuation with brand names, some companies produce expensive accessories, such as sunglasses for the richest members of society. Dolce & Gabbana has the DG2027B sunglasses, which have a gold frame, and nothing makes a billionaire feel more than wearing a pair of $383,609 sunglasses on their faces. Number 9. An entire skyscraper. Almost everything you buy depreciates in value, with a car being the prime example. But the one thing that almost always increases in value is the property. Most people who own property either own one house or condo, and maybe another small place where they can go whenever they have time off work. However, the richest people in society tend to not only live primarily in large homes on large patches of the land, but also own and build multiple large living spaces for themselves. In the case of Indian billionaire Mukesh Ambani, he built his own 27-floor skyscraper with his own movie theater, parking garage, helipads, and a real winter simulation room. This skyscraper, employing around 600 people, required $1 billion to build, which sounds like an unimaginable amount of money to spend on property, but luckily for Ambani, he has a net worth over $21 billion, so he remains pretty financially solvent. Number 8. A pair of heels. Most of us own at least one pair of shoes, along with at least another form of footwear, and that's because when we walk outside, footwear makes it much more comfortable and safer for our feet than when we walk barefoot. There are several different types of footwear, such as ordinary running shoes, cleats, boots, heels, and even sandals, and they don't cost that much for most. Specific designer footwear brands, however, cost a fair bit of money, like some Air Jordan sneakers, and Louis Vuitton heels, and for those who thought Louis Vuitton had the most expensive heels, you'd be mistaken. There are heels by Christopher Michael Shelley's, that cost nearly $228,000 a pair, and the reason they're so expensive is that they're made of solid gold and come with 2,200 diamonds valued at 30 carats. Number 7. A yacht. People have been fishing and traveling boats for thousands of years now, and many people still own and use boats, primarily for hobbies like fishing and sailing, or as vacation and party vessels. As with many things in life, the larger the boat, the more expensive it tends to be, which is why most people have a generally small boat that doesn't require huge maintenance costs. However, upkeep costs are usually not a problem for the world's wealthiest people, which is why they have no problem distributing loads of money for large, luxurious, and incredibly expensive yachts. One such yacht belongs to former Google CEO Eric Schmidt, who paid about $72.3 million for his vessel, promptly named the Oasis. This yacht comes with its own pool, helipad, and gym that can be converted into a disco. Number 6. A shark. The shark, in one form or another, has been swimming in the world's oceans for more than 420 million years now, and has been considered one of Earth's fiercest and greatest predators for a long time. Sharks are much smaller now than they were millions of years ago, but there are still some species that still grow to be quite large in size, and because of that, there are people in the world who pay the highest dollar to get one of these creatures. The tiger shark can grow as long as 16 feet, and in 2007 a hedge fund manager named Stephen Cohen, who has a net worth of over $12 million, bought a dead tiger shark that was 14 feet long. To prevent decline, this shark's body is kept inside an alcohol tank, and if you were Cohen, you'd want to keep the shark in great condition too, especially if you paid $8 million as he did. Number 5. A private jet. Every year, millions of people travel to different places around the world using various forms of transport, but the most commonly used method is undoubtedly the aircraft. Oddly enough, when an ordinary person is asked to list some of the things they'd buy if they ever became an instant millionaire or billionaire, a private jet is almost always on the list. The reason for this is simply because, unlike passenger aircraft, a private jet basically allows you to travel to any destination whenever you want, without buying tickets, waiting in lines, or checking luggage. Indeed, many billionaires have their own private jet, and Russian billionaire Alisher Usmanov has one of the world's largest and most expensive jets. Usmanov bought an Airbus A340-300, Russia's largest private jet, and he had to pay a heavy penny for it, as this Airbus is currently valued at $500 million. Number 4. A haircut. People like to get rid of excess and unwanted body hair, but that's not the only type of hair we care about. Indeed, the hair on our head is pretty important to us, and as a result, we often wash them, and take time every few months to get it cut, either by ourselves or by a professional. If you go to a barber or stylist, then a normal haircut will probably cost you less than $30, but there are some people who willingly pay more than $100 or more for a haircut. But then you have people like Brunei's Sultan, who chooses to pay a ridiculously large amount of money to have someone cut his hair. The Sultan, who is one of the world's richest people with a net worth of over $20 billion, gets his hair cut by stylist Ken Modesto, who flies 7,000 miles to his home, and spends over $20,000 for each haircut. Number 3. Space Shuttle. Richard Branson is named the world's famous and most loved billionaires. He is the Maiden Group's founder, who owns nearly 400 different companies. He spent nearly $200 million to get a space shuttle to accommodate 8 passengers in space for various tourism missions. The people traveling there only have to pay nearly $200,000 for the single ticket, which is not affordable for everybody, only the richest people can afford it. Number 2. A clock. Most people say time, using either their computer, cell phone, or one of the other various electronic and digital devices they have at their disposal. But for most of human civilization, people had to tell time using different methods, which at one point included only the sun and moon. The clock is actually one of the oldest inventions of humanity, and has undergone multiple transformations, including today's sundial, hourglass, pendulum clock, pocket watch, and wristwatches, and electronic clocks. Some people pay a lot of money for clocks, and Amazon founder Jeff Bezos spends an obscene amount of money to help build an incredibly big clock. This clock is being built inside a Texas cave, and it's expected to tell time for at least 10,000 years. And if that alone wasn't impressive, you'll be pleasantly surprised to know that Bezos spent $42 million on this clock. Number 1. A book. In particular, the past decade has seen a dramatic decline in the number of physical books being read, which in itself quite a shame is because reading a book off a screen just doesn't have the same feeling like a real hardcover or paper book in your hands. Throughout civilized human history, there were probably millions of books written by hundreds of people dealing with all kinds of fictional and non-fictional topics, such as biology, religion, philosophy, history, economics, mythology, and science. Leonardo da Vinci is one of the greatest minds of history, and when alive he wrote several books, some of which fortunately survived the test of time. One of these books was his scientific journal known as the Codex Leicester, considered to be the world's most valuable and expensive book, which is probably true given that Bill Gates, the world's fourth richest man, paid $30.8 million for it. What do you think about our list? Which one of the above shocked you? Let us know in the comments below. If you enjoy this video and want to hear from us again, be sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications before you go. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.